we met the EFF 4 times. And the last time they came, they lectured us, told us how useless we are, how they are mobilizing progressives, and how they are going to have their own candidate with everybody, including the DA, to counter our candidate. The DA will vote with them. And if you know Floyd, you know Floyd. And thereafter he stood up and he left. After the lecture and the insults and stuff.
Wow. If what Nomvula Mokonyane is, what she's saying is anything to go by, Floyd Shivambo may have caused the EFF their future. The opportunity to be in the government of national unity, the opportunity to show South Africans what they can do. And I also believe that there's a possibility that he sabotaged the EFF. Hence, after all these negotiations, he took off and went to the MKP party. So I want us to watch this video of Nomvula Mokonyane explaining how the negotiations that ended up forming the GNU, how they came about, and what transpired in those. And after that, I'll make a commentary. So let's check out this video, and then I'll make my comment after that.
We were ready to work with the EFF. We were very ready. We were ready to work with MK, just as we were ready to work with Freedom Front Plus. What was unfortunate was the mandating processes of some of the parties. And I think it was unfortunate because part of what we were told was, no, we want to work with you. The SG of MKP came, Floyd, telling us, no, the EFF wants to work with you because our intention is to strangle you and kill you and bury you. And, okay, fine, that's fine. We'll see. We'll strangle and kill the other. But on condition you give us the deputy president. If you are not going to remove President Ramaphosa, you give us the deputy president. He said, no, that's not how you negotiate. Here are the principles. What are you saying about these principles? They did not. And the second, the third, we met the EFF 4 times. And the last time they came, they lectured us, told us how useless we are, how they are mobilizing progressives, and how they are going to have their own candidate with everybody, including the DA, to counter our candidate. The DA will vote with them. And if you know Floyd, you know Floyd. And thereafter he stood up and he left. After the lecture and the insults and stuff. Wow. We were with the national chair of the ANC, if you know the national chair of the ANC. But he was so meek that day, he couldn't believe what was happening to us.
Yeah.
The SG was there, and Floyd was leading the charge with Ndlozi.
Wow.
Yes, and they then left. It was a very painful experience.
So they basically antagonized you.
Yes, they just told us that they are going to show us, they are working with everybody, they will prove to us that they will support any candidate by President Ramaphosa, and they left.
That clip earlier on of Nomvula Mokonyane talking about how the ANC had an opportunity to work with the EFF to be part of the government of national unity, and how Floyd, who was tasked on the side of the EFF to lead the negotiations, and he went out and blew this thing out of the water, and caused the EFF the opportunity to be part of the government of national unity. I don't know what would have happened if the EFF made it to the government of national unity, if some of their members, some of their leaders were part of this government of national unity, being in certain portfolios, the difference that it would have made, the gravitas that it would have brought of the EFF. Perhaps say, for example, they get into a certain ministry and they do well in that. They have a CV to show to South Africans that, hey, look at us, we're in the ministry of so and so, and this is what our achievements are. So Floyd Shivambo, as per Nomvula Mokonyane, insulted them, berated them, told them how useless they were and all of that. I don't know, even in that moment, does that mean that Floyd knew that he was going to the MKP and he was just destroying this thing, the opportunity for the EFF to work with the ANC in the government of national unity? I don't know that for sure. When did he decide that he's going to leave? So I'm really, really questioning that. On top of that, I'm not only questioning Floyd and his so-called intellect and his leadership, and considering how he's doing now within the MKP party as a Secretary General, if he's doing great or not, it doesn't seem like he is at the moment. Perhaps he's still learning the ropes, so to speak. But I'm also questioning Julius Malema. What kind of feedback was he getting from Floyd? Was Floyd doing this thing on his own? Yes, Ndlozi was there as well. Did they get that mandate from Julius and what is it called, the high structure of the EFF, to say this is how you negotiate with the ANC, this is how you're gonna treat them, and all those things? And if you listen to what Nomvula Mokonyane said, it's like there's an opportunity that is missed. How can you miss? This is like scoring an own goal, in soccer terms, whereby you have the opportunity to elevate your party, especially when it comes to a situation whereby the party has lost so many votes. That's one thing the ANC kind of understood, that we lost power, we're not in the majority, we cannot call the shots. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to negotiate with everyone. We're going to try to get a deal with as many people as possible. And they did that successfully. That's why today the ANC, even though they lost the majority, they are still in power, whether we like it or not. And here's Julius sending his delegation, led by his deputy president, to go and negotiate. And he doesn't, it seems like Floyd was just doing his own thing. And somebody could say he was also perhaps sabotaging the EFF, because immediately after those things, the negotiations, they fell through and all those things, there he goes and joins the MKP party. So when did he start the negotiation with the MKP party to say that I'm going to join you, I'm going to leave the EFF? When did he realize? After the elections, after they lost votes, then he decided like, okay, I'm going to pack my bags, I'm going to go, this ship is sinking, I'm going to join the winning team, that is the MKP party. So I'm questioning the leadership of the EFF in this regard. Was Julius not aware what was happening? And if he was aware, therefore he has scored an own goal himself, because he could be a minister today and he could show people everything that he's been speaking about, what the EFF can do, what he can do someday if he was to lead this country. And he had the opportunity to lead in a ministry whereby he's got almost an autonomous power, so to speak. He can introduce legislation, he can change policies, he can, he's got almost unlimited resources, so to speak, in terms of the budgets that are being allocated, who to employ, who not to employ, where to render services, how to render those services, how efficient they can render those services. And he missed out on that opportunity. And I'm questioning this party that want to purport itself that it wants to rule South Africa. If you're so disorganized within your own organization, whereby you only had a couple of hundreds of thousands of members, how about when you are a leader of a country of over 60 million people that you are accountable for? So you really need to give us the option so that we can look at the current government and say, and look at you and say, wow, what Julius is doing within those ministries, what the EFF members are doing within those ministries, they're doing such a great job that we want to give them the opportunity to run the country. And I say they scored an own goal. Floyd probably sabotaged them. That's my opinion. And Julius was a poor leader in this instance. And he cannot claim that he didn't know. And if he didn't know, it's his business. He needed to know. And if he knew, therefore, as a politician, he's not a good strategist. And yeah, let me know what you think about this issue that Nomvula Mokonyane mentioned in this interview, because this is the first time we had a revelation as to what happened. How did the EFF and the MKP party ended up outside of the GNU? It was not necessarily because ANC ignored them, but it's because they were trying to play hardball, or they just didn't understand what was going on here. They didn't understand the game that was being played. Let me know in your comments what you think. What are some of your thoughts? If you agree, disagree with what Nomvula Mokonyane said. And if you disagree with me with regard to Floyd and Julius, this calls into question their leadership. So hope to see you again on the next video. Thanks again for supporting us. Thanks for those who subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed, please be so kind and do that. We want to grow this community. We bring you more analysis of the current events in the political sphere in South Africa. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you in the next video again. Thank you. Bye-bye.